So just some quick reminders about the app. For those of you who have more than one person within your company, you can have multiple users on the app for your company, so you don't need to share logins. And you can also have different levels of permission within the app. So if you're the owner of the company and you have a couple guys working for you on job sites and whatnot, you don't necessarily need to have them see the account information or your accounting information with your payment information and your payment terms, those sorts of things. You can have different levels of permission so that you can choose who can see that information and who can't. So let's get into the app. The first thing that we run into with the app that is different from what people are used to, if you're, for example, shopping on a Target.com, is searching within the app is not like a Google search. The biggest, easiest thing is less is more when using the app. So for example, when you go to Google, you search gas water heater 40 gallons. Google is looking for and pulling up results that include any of those words, and it also has algorithms to try and figure out that if you say gas water heater, is that really what you meant, or did you mean something else? So it's learning as you're going. For our system, that's not the way it works. So for example, if I type in gas water heater 40 gallons, there's no results. Obviously, we sell gas water heaters, we sell 40 gallons, but when I shorten up the words, I yield 4 results. Same as you can see, I did an underground gas pipe, only one item, probably not the one you're looking for. It's not track pipe, it's not probably what you're looking to pick up. Type in pipe under, shorten up the phrasing, and I yield 8 results. The biggest reason for this is the app talks and goes into our computer system, our Eclipse system. And Eclipse is designed for our guys knowing how it works, knowing the nomenclature, knowing the short codes to type it real fast. So as you're running off a list to them on the other side of the counter, they're just typing it real quick. It's not a slow search through Target's entire vast 10,000 or 100,000 items and pulling up from there. So that's why it is a little bit of a learning curve to figure out how to search things. The biggest thing to make this easier is keywords. So when you get a printout of our orders, it has, like for a copper fitting, it might have COP 2300D, and then it'll just say copper 1/2 90. There's no additional, or COP, I think, it doesn't even say copper. There's no additional information. Inside our system, there's keywords that we can put into, I think, up to 1,000 different keywords, so that we can put in some of these longer terms like gas, water, heater, so that if you're searching, it won't necessarily show up in your printout and on your invoice, but it can be there. So the more that we have folks that use the app that tell us that they've been having trouble searching for something, the better off our system will be, because we can make those adjustments. The other thing I like to point out is in our industry, as I'm sure you all know, the same item, the same product can be called 5 to 10 different things based on who taught you, how long they've been in the business, or just because the same thing has 10 different ways to say it, as well as 10 different ways to spell it. All those types of things, as far as this is how I call it, I don't know what you call it, only helps us to put in the keywords so that when you are searching through the system, it can make it better. So when I was preparing for this, I discovered that our sheet metal does not have the word sheet metal in it. So thank you very much to Terry, who is an attendee today, went through and SMT is our code. He went through to add that everything that is sheet metal will now have the word sheet metal and sheet metal in it, so that when you're searching for it and don't know that code, you'll be able to find it with these. So just something to help us, to help things get better for you. So we're going to do a little bit of the technology. I'm going to get over into the app. So just give me one moment. Oops, wrong thing. Let's try this again. So here we are in our app. So this is not, this is just using a customer that we have and that we use for a lot of our house tickets and whatnot. Let's not do that. We don't need to look up where to go. So here we go. So for those of you who have downloaded, who have been into the app prior to this, this obviously looks familiar and has all of the various things that you can do within the app. So the first thing that I want to just sort of go through is the ways to make things easier for you to look things up without having to do the searching for all the products. So if we click on the shop up here, these are excuse me, are drill down options. So this isn't everything. We've been working on putting in more and more things into this section to make things easier for you to find things. So obviously we have pipe valve fittings, and it'll keep going in. You keep going down until you find what you need. Just keep going, and it'll eventually populate what you're looking for. So a very simple drill down option. The one thing that I think will be helpful to a lot of folks as well is Terry put in our equipment catalog. So if you are familiar with the equipment catalog that is provided by Bob, puts that together, and it comes out once or several times a year, looks like this. This is in the app, in this section here, the equipment catalog. So you can go page by page, and this is basically looking at each and every page that is within the system. So if I'm looking at air conditioning on page 14, this is everything that's on page 14 of the system. And you can go in and it breaks it down. And these are all the products that are listed on the catalog from October 2019 right there. So it makes it easy, especially if you don't have the catalog next to you, to look through the catalog without having to search for those items, especially because a lot of these product numbers are very complicated and long. So the likelihood that you're going to remember how to find it is not going to be great. So this is here, so this is under the shop. And there's also an alphabetical listing. I always feel there should be more letters, but if you click in, again, it's just another drill down option to find what you need. Again, this is all information that or products that are listed into our catalog. So let's back up, back up. So this is, again, the drill down. And as I said before, we have various products in here that we've started to put in. Again, this is not everything. We're building these as we go. And as you can see, this is just looking at items that we typically stock as opposed to everything that the Goodman catalog has available to you. So this is that. And I'm going to back up back to the main screen. So that was, again, here under the shop, the second from the top. The next thing that I want to look at is our reorder pad. This is the other way to make things easy for you. The reorder pad will show you everything that your account has purchased in the last, I believe, 365 days. So any products that have been written up and purchased that have been sold outside the building under your company name will show up in this reorder pad. It's very easy to search as well. If you're like, you know what, it was the toilet that I'm looking for. These are all the things that have toilet in the description or in the keywords that have been purchased on this account in the last year. And the nice thing is it'll also show you right here when you last purchased it. It'll show you if it's in stock, your price, and then you can easily add it to the side. Let's set that. So over here, and if you want to add something, you can just simply add it here, and then the button up top, add to cart, and then all of a sudden we have 2 products in the cart. So again, very fast, very easy to create the things that you need and find what you're looking for. The nice thing about the reorder pad as well is a lot of times we get a call from someone, you call your favorite counter person and say something along the lines of, you know, that faucet that I always get for these types of jobs, that's the one I want. If you're sitting at home writing up your order to pick up the next day, you're going to have to wait till the next day to call into your favorite counter person. So this way, if you just type in your faucet, it'll show you all the faucets that you purchased. So for example, if you called me when I'm sitting in the store and I look this up, usually I'll look through and you'll start to notice there might be, and this one might not be as great because it's not one contractor using the same things, but you might start to see a repeat of the same sort of faucet that you see multiple times. And that's how I would be able to say, that's the one that you want all the time. Let's add that to your order. So this is the reorder pad. As I said, this is the last year's worth of product that makes it nice and easy. I'm just going to clear this out so that. Sorry, apologies about that. So we looked at the shop and we looked at the reorder pad. The biggest thing that I have found that the customers who use the app regularly, that we see orders coming in once or twice a day, that they use the groups. So the groups are right here. And what this is going to be is giving you an opportunity to create groups of liked products that you purchase together, or products. It also can serve as a favorites, which is what we've had some customers do as well. So if we go into the My Groups, you'll see I already have a couple things in here that I created. So for example, this I labeled as Highline Toilet. So you can add 5 items, and when I click on it, it'll go through. And these are the items that if I need a Kohler Highline toilet, this is the things that I might need, that I usually purchase this seat most often. You have your accessories so that it's ready to go. Sorry, there's a chat pop up. So it's ready to go, and you can just hit this on the bottom. You hit the orange shopping cart, and then it adds all 5 items to the cart. Now, let's say this is something, maybe a toilet's not the best example, but if you have a group of like products that usually purchase a water heater and your accessories, and you know that you need extra of something because maybe the length of pipe that you need to get to where you need to get to is longer than you usually need, you can easily change your quantity here. Or if you have a bunch of wax rings on the truck, you can delete that down to 0 because maybe you don't need any extra. And then you can just add it when you hit the add to cart, it'll add the appropriate quantity of product that's listed there. So that being said, how do we create the groups? You can very easily just hit the add button and start from scratch, create a new group and go from there. I don't find that's necessarily the easiest. So you can just search at this top and you can type in products. So for example, what we had there before that I'm going to redo is if you need to buy a sump pump. So we're going to search our products. I know it's a Zoller. We'll see how the search works. It's a Zoller M53. And there we go. So this is my my trick if you have things that pop up. This isn't the best example, but I know that it's helpful. So while I have it, I'll just show that. Is if you type in things and you get a couple different versions, you're not sure which is the version that you're looking for. If you're looking for something you know we generally stock, we have, you can see here is it's got the in stock or the call. Obviously these are not the same products, so as I said, not the best example, but the one that's in stock is probably the one that you're going to be looking for, especially when you go through into the item. You can see who has it and which branches and whatnot. And when all 3 branches have that product, you're probably looking at something that we're looking for. So when I go into this product, this is what I'm looking for. You'll see down here at the bottom, which it's now not showing, but you can see that it's got the add to cart and it's got the add to group. Now I click add to group. I already have a sump pump one in there, which is fine. I can just simply add it to that. Or I could create a new one, whichever you prefer. I think you can have items also in multiple groups. So if you're using the sump pump for just a Zoller sump pump, but then you also, for example, if you are a builder, so you have lots of houses, so you want to have this lot package, you can put it into that group as well. Then the other things that we would need are PVC.
Hey, Hannah.
Yeah.
I'll give you the example. I've got one of my builders that every single new construction house they do, they get the same water heater and sump pump package. 40-gallon power venter, couple PVC fittings, the sump pump. So it's the same 8 or 9 fittings. We created a group in here, so every single house, when he's ready to go, he just clicks that reorder pad for that same list. He doesn't have to find everything, and we just, populate it right there.
Right. Adam, do you know if you create a group in the app, does it translate into Eclipse to make it easier for our guys inside?
I don't know. That's a great question.
That's a good question. So we'll write that down because I don't know. I'm going to talk about something in a second about things that do translate over. So I believe I was going to do 1 1/2, but I think Adam taught me yesterday that if I just do 1 1 2 for 1 1/2, it'll pop up what we're looking for. And this again this is the one I'm looking for. I want to add to my group to the Zoller sump pump. And the last thing that
I believe it does do it. I just checked with that customer and in Eclipse hit the guy's name and that group popped up.
Well, that's fantastic then, because this will make things easier when you come into the counter, because then if you create a group, it should make it easy with your favorite counter guy if you're looking for that item. So this is the item I want. I add to group and the Zoller sump pump, and now I have everything in the group that I need. So now when I go into my groups, as I said, I duplicated things because I had done this in preparation for this. So I'm going to delete these out. Delete. And now this is very simply the list of products I would need to purchase my Zoller sump pump. So it makes life very easy. As I said, I know that I've seen other customers where they've created just a favorites, and it's not necessarily they're ordering things together, but product that they use often. They just want to make it easy to find so they don't have to search for it every single time. and the groups is where you can, you would be able to do that. How are we doing, Adam? Any questions on the chat we need to address?
Nope.
Okay. The one other thing I wanted to mention, as I said, as far as having things in the app to make things easier for you, as well as having it translate into our system to make things easier when you're talking to a counter guy, is if you have your own product numbers. So if you have, I think QuickBooks does this for a lot of customers, if you have your own product ID numbers, if you provide us with an Excel sheet, we can upload it to your account. And the reason that's helpful is it's going to print on all of your invoices. It'll have our product name and information, and underneath it'll say your part number with that ID number. And then when you're here in the app, if you search with your product ID under your company name, it should populate that so that it'll save you time in the app. It'll save you time in our buildings, and it'll save you time on the billing because all of our invoices and our statements will have those product numbers listed. So if you have that information, reach out to myself or Terry, and we will be able to upload that for you to try and get that as you need so that it makes life a little bit easier for you, as I said, in the store, in your billing, and then when you're on the app. So we're doing good. We're going to keep moving. And here we go. So now that we have some things in our cart, we have our Kohler products, we can move forward pretty easily. Actually, I wanted to show you a couple of things on the products before we go there. So our most popular fittings might not be the best option that we have, but they'll have a picture if it's available. If there's additional product information, it'll list here. So the copper fitting, there's not a whole lot of extra information that we really need to worry about. It's pretty straightforward what the product is. It's sort of an is what it is. But if we go back through, back out, and we look at our cart, for example, we look at the toilet's going to have additional product information. It'll have the spec sheet. So this spec sheet will take me out to the internet. And this is the Kohler provided spec sheet. So this is a lot of times if you're looking for something for a customer, this is a really fast way that you don't have to bother calling us. You can look it up, grab what you need. And it's thinking really hard, so I'm not going to make you wait for it. So we're going to delete out of that. But it'll go through to anything that's provided by the vendor to us. It'll be in this information. So some products will have tech sheets. Some will have a spec sheet. It just will depend on what's provided to us by the vendors. But any additional information about that product will be here. And I think if you also want to look at the picture bigger, if you're in a customer's home and you want to show them or download it so they're not looking at your pricing while you're showing it to them, you can do that here so you can look at it with them. And you, I believe I saw that it has a share button at the top. So you can just share it right out of here, that you can do all the things that you normally can do. I'm on an Android, so it might look a little different if you're on an Apple, but I assume that it would be similar in that you can choose which app you want to share this through, whether it be text or whether it be an email. That's all an option here to do right out of the app. As I said before, you can look at stock to see which branch you want to go to. You'll see when we're here logged in as me, I have my default shipping branch is Albany. The default shipping branch is the branch that your account is defaulted out of. So for if you normally are going to our Saratoga branch, that's where it's going to be. At the end, I will show you that you can easily change it to a different branch to pick up. Obviously, we also can deliver, but that's where it's going to default. So when it shows you the pricing or the stock information, the availability in stock is looking at, is it in your home branch? So if you know you're going to go to Saratoga to pick it up and you normally are in Albany, you might have to wait till the end just to look and make sure when you change your shipping branch that the product is there and ready for pickup, or just double check with our guys. But that is where that's pulling from. So now that we have everything here, a couple other things that we can do. You can easily delete things off. You check what you need, you delete it. It's easy to edit. You can type in your new quantity here, hit update cart, and it'll update your cart. Put in 2, update our cart, and now we go back, and now we have 2 toilets because everyone needs 2 toilets, and we go from there. This edit button here will also take you to that same screen if you want to change multiple things at the same time. If you want to add more product, you just either back all the way out, or at the top left here, there's these 3 little tabs. Click that, and you can go back to any of the other screens. You can click home to start from scratch, to look for other product and keep adding it in. Once you think your cart looks good and they're ready to go, you hit the next button. And then this is where you can add in additional information. So we have our customer PO up here. And just so the other guys know, training, it's spelled properly, training. So they don't try and ship this out the door because nobody's coming for it. Most of you will probably know that the customer PO shows up in the top right of the ticket underneath your ticket number. And the customer PO is also a way that we can search for something for you. Or if you call ahead, you don't have to remember your actual ticket number. Just give us the PO and we'll be able to find the ticket, the sales item that you're looking for. The release number is another field in our system that will show up on the printed ticket. I'd say 98% of our customers do not use this. The ones who do will have, might ask us to put in there who actually came in to pick up the item. So you can put that in there. It'll show up on, if you can envision one of our tickets, and unfortunately, I can't print tickets in my house and did not prepare in March for this. In the middle where it'll show you who wrote up your ticket, there's a release field, and that's where that information will show up. So you can put that information there if you wanted to show up on the printed ticket. The required date right here is going to default to today. Most of the time, if customers are writing this up, they want it today, or if they're writing it up in the evening to prepare for the morning, you're going to want it the next day, and that's fine. If you're writing something up that you know you're not going to need for a week, feel free to change the date. And in our system, it'll tell us that you're not looking for it for a week, and it'll give a time, and it won't give you warnings if you want to get product from a different branch if we need to move things out. So we'll say we need to pick this up tomorrow. It's in a bid status. This is where I can change it'll default to the will call pickup. UPS ground, I would say definitely contact if you'd like something shipped because it involves the vendor. There's additional costs that have to be associated. So if you want that, you'll probably get a phone call from one of our guys saying, let's discuss what you're looking for. Our truck, which is this bottom one down here, is if you want us to deliver it to you. So right now we're offering free delivery to try and assist with social distancing, within our normal delivery range, which is 30 miles of each of our branches. So if you're looking for delivery, definitely click that right there, and we'll be able to reach out to you and try and arrange that for a time that works for you. The contact info is going to default to your information, but if you know that you're writing this up and someone else in your company is going to be picking it up, feel free to change this information if you want them to be the person that we contact if there's any issues. The other thing that I like to make sure I point out is up here in the upper corner, and I don't know if you can see that, so let me just do this so you can see where I'm talking, is up here. This is where you can leave us notes. So this is, it defaults into a shipping instructions field, and that shipping instructions is what you've probably seen will show up on your ticket. Where we have all the product listed at the top, it'll be instructions. Most often it's something if we're delivering to you, about calling ahead before we get to your location, or it'll say something about where we've staged the product so that we know where it is when you call. This is where you can leave us notes of information. I want to pick up Friday AM. And once you have what you need, just escape back out, and now that'll be there as a note to our staff of if you're looking for something that you couldn't find, if you need us to check, make sure I got the right product, when you want to pick it up, if somebody else is going to pick it up that we're not used to seeing from your company so that we know, then you'll be able to have that information and that'll show up on our ticket. We push our green arrow and keep moving. This is now our last chance to review the order, and it gives us our subtotal. Now, the reason I have a orange warning is because the system does not think that everything is available for me to pick up. It's not stock and available. Now, looking at this product, this is all stuff that if you've done business with us for any length of time, you know we generally have quite a bit of these products on hand, so it shouldn't be an issue. Looking into our system, I looked ahead because when I first saw that this wasn't available, my thought was, of course we have Brovia toilet seats. We always have Brovia toilet seats. So the reason is it doesn't show as available because in Albany right now we have about 120 toilet seats because we have a builder that has a lot on order, and they have 134 committed to them. So it doesn't show that you have one available. Obviously don't need all 134 tomorrow. So that would be one that internally we would override the system to give that toilet seat and walk out the door with you. But when you're looking at this screen here, it might give you a warning. And that's one that just we'll touch base and we'll check it out. You can still place the order. that's one of those is when the counter guys get it, they're going to take a look. And if there's a problem, they're going to reach out to you and say, hey, this is the issue. Maybe it is that that builder took all 120 yesterday for some reason. They needed them all at once. So we need to get you more. We're just waiting for our transfer truck to get them out of a different branch. So that information will be right here. It'll also give you the extended price, not which would be the price for that unit, not the individual price per unit, just so you know. And if this all looks good, we hit the green button to submit the order. And then immediately this is now in our system. So probably what just happened is my Albany counter crew just got a message in the system saying that this order has been placed. So when I did some training with this before, is Paul was very fast and I did not get to him in time to say, don't ship it. And he actually got it ready to start pulling the order. So it's immediate. You'll see that we already have all the information you need. So you have the S number up here. So that's your order number. This is your PO that you put in there. So if that's wrong, obviously give us a call and we'll fix it. And then you can see the rest of this information is right here, that this is what you placed on order. It'll give you your totals here. And the nice thing is that if you order anything through our app, right now, all customers get a 2% discount on everything. So you see my discount is right there of what I got off on this particular order for ordering through the app. And the other thing it has is any instructions that you left. So if this goes through and then you go back and you look and you say, whoa, I made a mistake, that's fine. This will give you all the information right here. And then you can reach out to us with this, using this number up top. The other things that you can do right here is you can email it. If you push the contacts, which I'm on a tablet that doesn't have contacts, so I'm not going to do, because it'll just confuse the system. But this right here will pull out whatever contacts application you use on your phone to just pull up your contacts. Email address of whoever you want to send it to, you can send to multiples, just putting in your comma. And then obviously down here, you just write your message. And it'll just like if I send it to you out of our system, the ticket will show up as an attachment so that you'll have a copy of it. If you're sending it to whoever's picking it up, they'll have a copy of it. You can take care of it right then and there. And obviously send the, make sure you remember to hit the send button up top. So if I back out, if life is all good, I hit my little green, everything is good. That's not what I want to do. When we want to discard. I don't know if that'll change on its own because I've never done that before. But we go back to our home. Now our order is off and running. So that is our placing an order and getting us to the end. And then what is the things that we need to do next is obviously want to take a look at things. So how are we doing, Adam? Do we have any questions on the ordering?
No questions. Just one person mentioned that in the search field, you can resort by most popular, pricing, stuff like that.
Yes. So when you're in, thank you. Let's find something easy that has lots of things. So once we get to where we want this, the arrows up here on the top will allow to choose the various ways to sort them to try and make things easier so you can find what you're looking for. Thank you, that was very helpful. This is the other things. So if you're looking for availability, obviously all these items are available. That's the way to go find it so you can make it easy for yourself to find what you're looking for. So other things I want to point out that the app has as an availability of things that it can do is obviously the quick and easiest thing is our branches are all right here under branches. So you can see our addresses and our phone. And again, I'm on a tablet, so I don't think it'll necessarily do what I want it to do. But if you click on the phone, it should go directly into your phone app. So you can call one of our branches without having to look up the number. Same thing with the address. You should be able to copy and paste it and put it into your map application on your phone. So again, it's fast and easy to try and get things going. The other couple things I want to point out here, let me just get to my notes. All right, is we have our accounts. So this is where, as I was saying before, is some of this information you can restrict for various people in your company if you don't want everyone to have access to this. So in here we have a couple different things right here. Quotes, which is this first one, those are going to be bids, things that we have written up that maybe you were getting some pricing. You said, let me check with the customer. We're not sure to go. Those are things that are not ordered or assigned to your account yet. Those are going to be the quotes. The open orders are things that are what we call rolled or in a call when complete setting, which means that the product is being reserved for you or being ordered for you. So it's already started the process through purchasing. And one of two things when you're in there is the product is either all here and we're just waiting for you to let us know when you want to pick it up, or it's not all here yet. So if you ordered 10 items and 5 were in the building, 4 needed to be transferred and 1 needs to be ordered, it'll still show up here in the open orders. It just, it's not all here yet, ready to go. It won't distinguish in the screen which is which. And you can see in here that if there's a PO, it'll show right here. So that's where the PO, the customer PO section, the more you use it, the easier it makes it for you to find what you're looking for, just because the S numbers are obviously numerical, so they all start to run together for a time. And then the invoices are things that have been shipped. That's what I want. The invoices have been shipped. It's not going to be everything that is in your account. So if you've been a customer for a long time, your history goes back years, it is not all going to be here. We're not quite sure, or I can't remember exactly what distinguishes what shows up in here. I think that in general it had been like the last statement. So we're in April, so it would show things going back to March, or it would show things that have not yet been paid yet to the beginning of the month. So it's going to be more recent things. It's not going to show everything. If you're looking for an older invoice, you're going to have to reach out to myself, reach out to the office, and we'll be able to get you what you're looking for. The other thing I want to mention with the quotes is you can look at things, but you are unable to change bids that you did not create within the app. So if you want to make changes, you're going to have to reach out to your salesperson, but you can at least take a look and see what those were and go from there. And then the account inquiry, this is where you can see your accounts receivable status. So this will show you basically where you're at. So this is where you're currently at. Obviously, this is owed. We haven't yet billed you for it. What's currently owed is here under current. And then past due amounts are here. Down here with the orders is going to sort of show you where you're at. Deposits is anything that's deposits that you paid us, but we've not yet shipped yet. Open orders are things that have shipped out the door, but have not yet been paid. Just one little caveat to that is if you paid something for us and we have not yet applied it to this ticket, it'll still show up in the open orders. Once we apply it, it'll no longer show in the open orders. And then it'll just give you some information about your sales. Just so you know, the year to date goes back to our fiscal year, which is April 1st. So if it looks a little low because you're looking for January, that's probably is. And then just information about your credit history. So again, as I said, this is information you might not want to have people within your company seeing. The other thing that I want to point out is the resources tab. So this is the FAQs that you see at the top up here. This is the FAQs that are put out by our app developer. So they're not specific to Capital, but specific to the app itself and how to use it. Using the Capital with the app with Capital down here is the information that I sent in that original welcome email whenever you signed on board. And that's more specific to using things within Capital District Supply and how it works with our internal systems. So those are the two things, is if you're looking for some technical help, I'd start. And if not, obviously reach out to myself. The other things that we have here is going to be the catalogs. So if you don't have a copy of the catalog, you're on a PDF copy, this is where the top should be the current catalog that Bob put out. And this pipe valve fitting catalog is, you might have seen there are yellow catalogs, and Bob put together a great sheet that has basically a picture of a fitting and our nomenclature above. So if you use that drill down, you won't need that, but if you like to use the codes, that's a good thing to sort of download and just sort of have and take a look at, and you can see how our nomenclature makes sense, or at least where it comes from, and there is a sense to it. It just takes a little bit to figure it out. The other thing that is a new addition here is the pay your bill. So this link will take you through to a secure web page for us that is an opportunity to pay your bill. You can pay by credit card, you can pay by ACH. You should pay the same way that you normally pay, as if, for example, if you're a cash account, obviously put credit card or check. If you're a charge account, typically we accept checks and whatnot, and you can do that through that system as well. You'll get an email immediately after you go through with a confirmation of your payment, and Arlene's information is there at the bottom. She is the person who's in charge of our online pay. So if you have any issues, if you're running into problems, not sure how to do a certain thing, just give her a call, reach out to her. Her email is right there, and she'll be able to assist you to walk through that. So that should save a lot of people a bit of time and hassle. And it gets applied to your account a lot faster because she gets those emails immediately. The one other thing I just want to point out, and again, this won't work great, but the send photos will allow you to take a picture of something you're looking at and then send an email with that information. So if you have a product that you're like, this would be great, do you guys carry it? You can take a picture and send it in to us. If you're like, you guys should carry this product, take a picture, send it in, all that sort of information, you could do that straight from the app. So it saves you a little bit of time. Let me see where we're at. So that is everything that I had to show you. Adam, how are we doing on questions?
We're good right now.
Okay, so our last thing is, does anyone have any questions? I'm trying to be conscious of our time, and we're right about where we're at. So switch over screens. Oops, is that you, Adam? Okay. So well, just give another minute or so to see if anyone, Terry raised his hand. Terry, go ahead, type it in. So I don't think I can give you permission to talk. Actually, I can. Okay, so Terry, who, if you've done anything with Capital, you probably have met Terry before at one point or another. Terry, you should be able to talk. Yes, Ed, I will be putting this online, and we'll make sure that you guys get a copy of where we put this webinar when we're done. I was recording. I forgot to hit the record at the beginning, but this will be available online.
Am I on?
Yes, Terry, go ahead.
Okay, couple things. The reorder pad, if you could go back to that, Hannah, you can sort it by date, oldest, newest, newest, oldest. So if you know when you got that toilet last, you could find it by the date.
Reorder pad. And you said you want me to sort?
Okay, so there you can easily find it. You can part of the description. It's very powerful. That's what we use when you say, I got this part 6 months ago. Well, that's how we get there. The other thing on your account, Hannah, go to the my account. If you click on invoices, the default is 30 days back. Hannah, yeah, you could sort.
By PO?
You're an Android. Where's your search?
It's right here. Am I searching for?
Try advanced search. There should be a place you can change the date. On Apple, it's easy.
It's easy because you know how to use it. Here you go.
There you go.
So what I did, just to back up a little bit, is I went into my account. I went into invoices. I hit this little arrows up here in the upper right. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. I'm sorry, the search button right next to it. And from here, I did advanced search. And I got to here where you can take the different fields with.
Click on that date and you can take it back 6 months, 9 months, 10 years, 20 years. It'll go back as far back as July 1st, 2002.
Oh, that's fantastic. I actually had someone asking about that earlier today.
Okay.
So, and then when you click on the invoices, I believe you can email yourself a copy of this invoice.
Yes.
So if you're looking for an old invoice, for example, for a customer or whatnot, you can do that right from there. And Terry, am I correct that if I email myself the invoice, it'll have a serial number if it's been shipped, if that's what I'm looking for?
Entered, yes.
Warranty?
If it's been entered, we have a problem sometimes with getting them entered.
Yeah, if I'm thinking if you have a warranty issue, this would be a good way to go back and find the warranty information of the serial number if you need it. If you're able to do what you need to do without having to call us, that's an easy way to do that. Anything else, Terry, that I missed that you want to add?
Nothing else. I was sending you messages. I don't know why you didn't get them.
So does anybody else have any questions? The last thing I'll just mention is my email is in here under resources, and using the Capital with app, using the app with Capital, and my email's right there at the top. Feel free to reach out to me if you would like additional training, would like one-on-one training, have any thoughts or suggestions on improvements that we can make, especially with those keywords. feel free to reach out to myself, and we try and do whatever we can to do so. As I said, our searches have gotten better from customers saying, I was having trouble finding this in the system. We just recently discovered our fern codes, that if you didn't know that we don't have the full word fern co spelled out, you can't find them. So now you can search by fern co and find those items.
Unfortunately, someone a long time ago
misspelled it.
FERNTO instead of CO.
And that is why less is more. So feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out to myself if you have any questions, additional questions, or need additional assistance, or if you had someone that wasn't able to be here. As I said, we will be sending out the recording and making it available. But if you have several folks in your company you'd like to do live training, we can do this again as a live training with whoever you need. And we're here to help. And with that, Adam, anything else?
Oh, thanks for coming.
So I thank everyone for joining us. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we hope we can get back to having a cup of coffee at the counter soon. Thanks, everyone.